people think you need a culinary degree. You don't, quality ingredients, taking your time to educate yourself, really know different cuisines, trying things. But I always say this is why I love cooking. There's no real wrong way. That merriment of flavors and trial and error. I don't love baking because it's not immediate gratification. And I love that sizzle when that hot pan and you get that protein, or even like something as simple as watching like a stew bubble in like clay pot. For me, the house fills with the smells. Like I really enjoy that. And I think that that's something that's really nostalgic because I get it from where I grew up, but you don't have to be classically trained.
Hey, everybody, I'm Lori Schulweiss.
And I'm Jen Giamo.
And welcome to another episode of Everybody Talks, the podcast where we explore the wide world of wellness. Sometimes we talk to experts, sometimes we just talk to each other, but we're always talking to you. And if you watch this episode, and you should watch this episode on our YouTube channel at Everybody Talks Podcast.
Every week, we discuss topics from nutrition and exercise to mindfulness and self-care. And today, we are talking to a chef. She graduated from the New England Culinary Institute with more than 15 years of experience in top kitchens, including Boca Raton Country Club and Picasso's at the Bellagio in Las Vegas, where she was the only female chef. She went on to own 2 restaurants in New Jersey, Chef's Place in New Brunswick and Cafe in Newark, before launching Chef Covas Catering, now a community favorite for elegant, family-centered events.
She gained national recognition as a 2-time Food Network champion on Chopped in 2016 and Supermarket Stakeout in 2019. Today, she's also a popular social media personality known for her lively on-screen presence and approachable recipes that bring families back to the dinner table. Her new book, Little Portugal, is rooted in her Portuguese heritage, emphasizing simplicity, connection, and creating unforgettable moments through food, something we can all use. Please welcome Chef Lauren Covas. We were lucky enough to taste some of your food at an event this past summer, and loved it, and just loved hearing you speak about the Portuguese influence on your food and how you got to where you are just from growing up. So why don't you kind of tell us about that and what that was like and how you got to where you are right now?
Sure. So first, thanks for having me. I'm super excited. I love following you guys. And you're like a married couple, and just to treat each other is awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But simply put, food is my life. It has been ingrained in me. I'm a classically trained chef, and I've worked in a range of restaurants. I've had my own, and through all of that, I developed after 14 years my own catering company, where I really found my passion and my, purpose. I feel this family-driven pull of bringing people back to the dinner table. I'm a first-generation Portuguese American, and growing up, I was always in the kitchen with my mom and my avó. That's Portuguese for grandma. And, it was the food that brought us together. It was the food that started those conversations and the communication. And I really believe that that is an intricate part in that healthy, fulfilling lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely. I love that, when you were speaking at that event and talking about your Portuguese upbringing, and it was very reminiscent of Italian dinner tables in my house. So talk to us a little bit about that. Like, how did your heritage influence the way that you cook and you connect with other people?
I get that a lot, actually, like Sunday sauce, macaroni Sundays, and Italian. And I feel that, we know a lot about Italians and Greek and French and Portuguese just starting to come to the surface. I really feel that it's one of the reasons Little Portugal is going to be doing, and it is doing so well, because it's so new. And Portugal, the heritage I was ingrained with, like that Sunday family. I always make the joke, you've seen the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Yeah.
So it's my big fat Portuguese family.
Yeah.
Everyone is integrated within each other. Everyone's in everyone's business. There's so much energy, but it's always around food and the dinner table. And you walk in my mom's house, there is something that she will put on a plate, slide out in the middle of that island, as soon as you walk in, because that's how she greets you, shows you love, fills you. And, between her and my grandmother, it was just something that I really appreciated and I really loved. And that heritage, I want to make sure it's never lost. So that's something I implement in my house with my kids and on my social platforms to try and really educate and bring that out.
Yeah.
I just have a quick like everybody cooks with their, well, I didn't, but everybody like tries to cook with like their families and, but how do you make that jump into, okay, I want to be a chef. Like I want to do this as a living.
It is all I've ever known. I mean, every job I've ever had has been in this industry. And I loved cooking so much that I would used to play in my kitchen. I mean, we actually have footage of it. Like I was a cooking chef, like on a cooking channel. I loved
Wow.
watching, Rachel Ray and Emerald Lagasse. And like, so when I was in the kitchen, I would like talk to myself and be like, we're going to chop the onion like this. And, I realized there could be a career out of this.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And I said to my parents, I was like, I really want to try the cooking thing and go to culinary school. So my dad said, well, before we decide on that, go work in a restaurant, like see if you truly, really love it. And if a family friend of ours owns a restaurant here in Jersey on the beach, and it's called Angelica's. It's really well known. And he talked to my dad, and he was like, "Yeah, have Lauren come in. We'll put her to work." And I walked in. I went and made my mom buy me a chef coat at the uniform
Oh
store
my God, that's
and
amazing.
black pants, thinking like I was going to get on the line. All this that I see, absolutely did not happen that way. I got put in pots and pans, washing dishes, peeling garlic, and you would think that that would like discourage me. I loved it. I was like, I've
Wow.
grown up with this. This was what I did. Like when you walked in the kitchen, my mother would hand me a peeler or be like, hey, there's a basin with ice and the greens are soaking. Go wash them because we're going to need them, or snip the string beans. And I was like, now I'm putting in an energy of people and the hot pans and the moving. And I was like, I was sold. So always worked in restaurants. Then I went to culinary school in Vermont, which New England Culinary Institute, very hands-on school. It was, up there with the Johnson and Wales and the CIAs.
Yeah, I know.
And it was very immersed with 6 months on, 6-month internship. And I got to travel, which was a beautiful part of this job. Everywhere you go, everyone's got to eat. And yeah, Boca Raton, Florida, to Vegas, Boston. Vegas was an amazing experience. You mentioned I worked at Picasso. I was old school world French run kitchen, like you see on the Bear.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Very intimidating, but very humbling at the same time. I worked a lot there, and I was the first female that he has ever hired. So,
Wow.
you got your chops in there, but that slowly just, one thing turns into another. Life
Yeah.
happens. I ended up starting a family, and the catering thing really ended up working after owning my own restaurants. So that helped me implement where I stand now with, the cookbook, bringing families back to the dinner table.
I'm so jealous of. I've always thought like a second career for me would be going back to culinary school. My ex-husband was a self-trained. He wouldn't call himself a chef, but he was really a chef. Like he would combine all kinds of things. I mean, that's how he won me over. That's actually the only thing I miss about him. We've been divorced quite a while now, but he really introduced me to the beauty and of food and like combining flavors and why you want the best ingredients and why you don't just buy olive oil in a supermarket. I really want to know the right knife skills, the right flavors, the right things.
What you just said is really important because your husband, people think you need a culinary degree.
Yeah.
You don't, quality ingredients, taking your time to educate yourself, really
Yeah.
know different cuisines, trying things. But I always say this is why I love cooking. There's no real wrong way.
Right.
That merriment of flavors and trial and error. I don't love baking because it's not immediate gratification.
Exact.
And I
Mhm.
love that sizzle when that
Yeah.
hot pan and you get that protein, or even like something as simple as watching like a stew bubble in like clay pot. For me, the house fills with the smells. Like I really enjoy that. And I think that that's something that's really nostalgic because I get it from where I grew up, but you don't have to be classically trained. That's very nice and it helps me in my career. But I love that you said like he wouldn't call himself a chef, but he is. He's a cook. He loved to be in the kitchen. It's if it's putting your music on, pouring a glass of wine, it's good for your mental health.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely. It's good for
definitely,
your mental health.
definitely,
And I think
definitely.
it's, I mean, having a passion for it. Like, I love that your dad said, go work in a restaurant because that could totally deter you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it could, it's to me, it's the craziest atmosphere. And obviously, watching The Bear is about the extent of my experience in a kitchen. But I love, like, I see it in your face. Like, you have this excitement around cooking. And I think that that transfers, I don't remember who it was we were talking to, but we were talking about making whatever it is, whatever dish it is that you make, right? And you can give that recipe to someone else and they can cook the exact same thing and follow the exact same recipe, all of that. And it doesn't taste the same.
Ever.
It never tastes the same.
Yeah.
And what we've been told is that it's because of that love and that feeling that the person cooking it has that actually transfers to the food.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it makes such a difference. Like my mom is a very, very good cook. And
a very good cook.
she, I mean, same, as you growing up, but unfortunately, unlike you, I did not get the bug to to pursue this as a career. I'm lucky that I eat some days. But she, that's her way of expressing herself and, giving food to neighbors and she'll give me that same recipe and I'll try to make it. I'm like, this doesn't taste anything like what
It
she
sure
cooks.
doesn't.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
At least you're trying.
I sometimes try.
Like,
I
we're taking the
sometimes
first
try.
Well,
step.
that's,
You're trying.
that's the creativity of it is so much a part of it. I mean, that's why I enjoy, I will watch any food competition show on television. I don't care who the chefs, I mean, I like it when they're really like well-known top chefs, but I'll watch home chefs compete on TV because giving someone a pile of ingredients or having to search out a pile and then you're creating, it's like a work of art what people are creating. And that's so much fun to watch that, I think.
They say you have to cook like your grandmother, plate like an artist, and rule the kitchen with your fist. Like you have to be strong, tough skin. But what you're saying is it's never going to be the same. I could take the recipe of the meatballs that your mom made to a T, but when you ate them and when your mom put the plate down, it's all of that fills that memory. They say that when we get older, especially like the elderly, the one thing we never lose is the memory of food. And I've kind of seen it firsthand. So my grandmother, who I dedicated the book to with my mother, unfortunately, she got Alzheimer's and it progressed pretty fast. And we found out around 5 or 6 years ago. And I really tried to get the book done as fast as I could because I wanted to have that. But if I sold one book or a million books, I would have still made the book because I got the stories of my family down, something tangible that I really want to share with my kids. But my mom was just there in August and she gave her a copy of the book. And my grandmother looked at the cover and she's like, oh, she's so pretty. Little chubby, but so pretty. And I was like, thanks, Grandma. But you could see this emptiness in her eyes, which was very heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
2 days later, my mom sends me a video. My grandmother's eating a little bowl of rice pudding that my mom made while she was there. And she lit up, like I have chills. She lit up and her eyes, she was blinking and there was a smile. And this pure enjoyment of her eating it was like, and I watched it, I go, Mom, she's there. Like the lights are on. Like she's tasting the sugar. She's like, oh, she even said like in Portuguese, the translation was, she's like, perfect sugar this time, Amy. Like something clicked. And I really said to her, I'm like, it's the food. It's the way your body remembers things. It tastes, it is in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. That's so interesting that you say that. Just like a side note, my dad was getting dementia. My dad passed away a few months ago, and thank you. And towards the end, he was definitely had the beginnings of dementia, and the things that he would say to me around food were always these foods that he remembered from when he was a kid. He wasn't going to eat them, and I wasn't going to go. I said, Dad, what do you want to eat? I feel like having soft shell crabs. I feel like having, and I'm like, what? Like, where are you getting these foods from? And they were all things that he would eat or he would cook, when he used to make baked clams, and he was like, yeah, maybe we'll get some clams and we'll do that. I'm like, okay. But it's funny that I didn't really think about it that way until you just said that. But I do believe that food is that it grabs something in your memory bank and it makes you have a feeling,
And it brings people together.
It brings people together for sure.
100%.
What, talking about the creativity and stuff, what like excites you when you get into a kitchen? Like, what is something when you're experimenting with a recipe? Like, what is the thing that excites you the most?
I really do get excited. Like, I really, really love what I do. So even like on my day off, you'll still find me in the kitchen, even if it's for myself. And I'm like, I don't even need to pull the camera. I just smile doing it. I love fresh produce. I love showcasing food for what it is, really amplifying. If you have a beautifully ripened, perfect tomato, get that good olive oil, get that flaky sea salt, slice it up, put it on a platter, finish it with a little bit of fresh basil or herbs. But really, that's why the tomato's so delicious. We wanted to accent those flavors. I could eat fish personally every day. I love seafood. Being Portuguese, we're a fisherman forward culture. We definitely have farms and the meats and the stews and all the heavy stuff, but a grilled piece of fish, olive oil, lemon. I always use the zest at the end just to kind of give it that aromatics, but that excites me. And I think that's one of the things that I love is when I get to cook for someone, I get to show them that.
Yeah.
That it can be simple and delicious and healthy.
You just made my mouth water with that tomato. That tomato, that is nothing better than what you described.
A fresh
tomato with salt and vinegar and
a little burrata sometimes helps.
Burrata's definitely helps.
Half the time I have a little plate when I'm working with like, I always say like the end pieces, or like I'm doing something with peaches. When I cut the little butt of the peach off, that's my snack. That's the good stuff. Get a little balsamic and I'll drizzle it over. Like that's the enjoyable.
Oh, so good. But I love that, like what you said about like bringing out the natural flavor of the food. So many times you'll go to a restaurant and everything is so heavily sauced and you're not tasting the actual food. It's like, I love a good grilled piece of fish, any kind of fish, really.
Totally.
Do you get your inspiration mostly from like your background, or where does your inspiration come from for the different things that you cook?
I think it's changed over time. Depending on what part of my life I've been in and my focus point of, right now I'm in my mom era and my kids and teaching them and raising good human beings. Is my number one task here that I'm given.
Which they are. We saw your boys at the event.
Boys. They were great.
Yes, they are. They are very good boys, and they're very good eaters. But my inspiration comes from right now, really like that topic, showcasing really good food. I think that I agree with you. There has been a lot of, you look at food goes through trends. Yeah, there's always trends, but there was, and there is a point when you go to restaurants and dining out. A lot of stuff on a plate, a lot of sauces, a lot of camouflage. And I really want to bring it clean, whole ingredients, and just freshness, because I feel like that is something that really resonates with a lot of different people.
And simple, just simple,
very simple food.
Delicious and simple. And I think, with your cookbook, even the cookbook's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Oh my gosh. It's the colors and it's just beautiful. But I also think there's a lot of recipes in there that like I could probably make.
Yes, that's true.
Right? Yes.
Yeah. That was hopefully, that was the plan.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
taking those old school recipes, a lot of them some are very traditional, and modernizing them. The countryside, peasant food. There's that wholesome heartiness, but some things that are not approachable or not knowing American ingredients. And this cookbook was really to change that around.
Yeah.
And clean it up, simplify it, things that you can bring to a party as an appetizer, things you can cook at home for you and your family or you by yourself, things you can entertain with, big pots that are beautiful to put in front for a holiday.
Yep.
Yeah. But modernizing it where you can. It's very approachable.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite recipe, or is there was there one that was especially meaningful to you to put in the book? Like, was there an important, like, if I do any book like this recipe has to be in it?
So there's a lot of meaningful. Actually, every recipe has a little blurb on top of it, which tells the story of what that recipe means to me. But there's a running joke in our family. So everyone cooks in my family. Everyone loves to cook, and everyone's a really good cook. But we have this, it's moio, it's sauce, marinade. And it's, a lot of people know the Portuguese barbecue chicken, frango. It's like if
Yeah.
you go to the Ironbound in Newark,
Sure.
every place carries
Yeah.
it's on charcoal grills. You baste it with this sauce. And it's been a running thing in our family. If you open anyone's fridge, it's always in the old olive oil bottle.
Oh,
and
that's hilarious.
wrapped with plastic and the top, because it's all garlic, all hot peppers, piri piri and black pepper.
Wow.
It's really delicious. So when you go to one of our family's houses, oh, get the moyu. Everyone's like, mine's the better. Oh, this one, you missed a little salt. Put it in. And I was like, mine got published in a
in
national
a book.
cookbook.
In a book.
So mine
win.
won.
You win.
So no matter what you say,
Yeah.
but it's a delicious marinade. You could put it on chicken, fish, pork. It's a versatile, simple. It's garlic. It's the piri piris that are dried, fresh ground pepper, and olive oil. I use lemon juice, and you just baste it as you cook. You turn your grill on low, and it helps crisp up the skin of the chicken.
Oh my
or just
God.
finish the fish, and then when it comes off, you just sit it on the plate. I usually do a little bit of fresh lemon juice, good drizzle olive oil.
Wow.
Oh, that sounds delicious too. Now, how when you make something like that, how long can you keep that in the fridge? And it's a kind of random question, but I'm just curious.
no,
Like,
no.
Well, she says this because, Lauren, if we went into Jen's fridge, I just want to point out that we'd find many, many expired items. I'm just saying.
maybe a few.
More
maybe
than a
a
few. You know, the door that everybody has with
Condiment
all the
yours.
sauces,
when you
the
open it
kind
on the side.
you don't want to. I
No,
mean, it's
bad. It's bad. Yeah, and I'm the one who's always like, "Oh, it's fine. You can. It's
You
only
can
like
have
a
it."
couple of months
You
old."
open, you do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Or else, I'll say, "Why don't you
Totally.
smell this?" And my boyfriend's like, "I don't want to smell that. Why would I
You
smell
have to
that?"
smell it before you put it on the plate. You know,
Yeah.
Chances are it's not good. But anyway, but so I'm just thinking
something like that lasts.
Yeah.
Because it's that neutral oil base with the
Yep.
garlic. It almost like preserves it.
Mhm.
And I love to use the reference. Think of old country, Italian, Portuguese.
Right.
That's why we started curing meats. That's why we used
Yeah.
salt
Right.
or pure fat to cook meats and then save them in the fridge. That oil, that neutral oil, holds as a barrier from the oxygen. So the garlic actually holds inside of it. So you're looking
Wow.
at 2-3 months.
Oh wow.
wow.
That's
Yeah.
perfect for me.
That is perfect for you.
I love that.
That's
Shake
the
it,
newest
just
stuff.
shake it real good and you put it in a
That's the
bowl.
newest stuff. Why do you think that Portugal and Portuguese food is having such a moment right now? I feel like it's like where everybody's going and it's like what everybody's talking about. Like it's finally having its time. I mean, why do you think that is all of a sudden?
It's definitely having its moment. Portugal right now is the number one traveled destination for Canadians and Americans.
Yes.
More Americans are buying up property there than anywhere. And I think it's because it's been the underdog. It's been a little underrated.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
didn't realize how beautiful of a country it was, or it is, but also the history, the stories, the real art that's there, these buildings that have never been destroyed, that have been preserved. The whole coast, like, I think of Jersey and New York, like we have this
Yeah.
whole beautiful coast, and there they have Nazaré, which is the surfing capital of the world. And I think, people started traveling there when like surfing competitions became really big, and they started saying, "Oh, the food's good. Oh, this is beautiful." And then I think the country woke up a little bit and started putting beautiful hotels and bringing tourism in, which helped populate and bring it up. But after COVID, I think that this was one of the biggest places that really started getting notoriety. But the food is excellent. We take simple things from the countryside, and now you have these amazing chefs who've come in and opened up restaurants where they've taken that food and elevated it and made it presentable. And, when I did the cookbook, someone interviewed me and asked me, Portuguese food isn't that pretty. How do you make it pretty? I said, but it is. It is. I think that nothing beautiful, like more beautiful than a pot of food that comes out with the potatoes, the meats, the carrots, fresh herbs, a piece of fish or piece of pork chop sliced up really nicely with that beautiful sauce on top. It started to come out and be seen, and people start talking about it now. So it's definitely having a moment.
Do you get back there very often?
So as a child, we went for my grandparents, my aunts, my mom's family, my dad's, all there. They travel back and forth. My adult life, I hadn't been for a while. We just went in March. We actually took our boys for the first time. We spent 16 days there. They wanted to kill me because we did something like 180,000 steps in
Oh my God, I
16
love
days.
that.
And all walking. It's all uphill, all downhill.
Yeah, I love that.
But I loved being back. We went to see my grandmother. They got to see city life, Lisbon, Porto, real hustle bustle. My kids were all in that. And then we brought them to my grandmother's house. They walked around like this because they literally, it's like a dirt road that ends up being paved. And they get out of the car and my oldest is like, what is that? And I go, fresh air. Manure, farmland.
Right.
There's like the flies are giving the nostalgia. Like, we're driving. My kids are like, there's just cows and what's the roosters? I'm like, this is it, buddy. Like, this is how people like really live out here and appreciate the land and grow their own food and take care of each other, build community. And they got to see both sides of it.
Yeah. Which is very cool.
I love that.
Yeah, to get an appreciation for that as a young kid, I think so important. I mean, I feel like that's something I only sort of learned to appreciate as I got older and visiting other countries, especially Italy. I mean,
just recently you had that amazing experience.
We had an amazing trip to Sicily recently for about 2 weeks, and just the food, in my experience, it's like. And this is, I'm sure, the same for a lot of European countries. The freshness of it, it's like nothing that we get here.
It's nothing like we get here.
I mean, even like the olive oil tastes different. The wine tastes different. The food is so fresh.
No
no preservatives in it. There's no chemicals.
My kids noticed the difference.
Yeah.
When they had iced tea, it was something as simple as like a brand iced tea you'd get here in the States. My younger one especially, he was like, overdosing on orange juice because it was fresh squeezed and it was so bright. The egg yolks, like it's not processed. Not a million things touch it before it hits the table. And I mean, for a 12-year-old to realize there's a difference, it's imperative.
It really is.
Even
difference. Just the way it's grown, the way that it's grown in the soil 100%. That it's grown in and the environment. It's like all of that stuff makes such a difference. Now I want to go to Portugal. I want to talk about, being a chef, being a business owner, being a mom, being a Food Network champion. How do you, I guess, one, is how do you balance all those things? But two, it's like how has your relationship with food evolved across all of those different roles?
So in my platform and what I really believe in, and I get a lot of moms who ask me like, how do you make dinners, sit down with sports and school and everything that the normal stuff? And I was like planning, prepping, prioritizing, the 3 Ps is really, if you address it, you can make it happen. And I just work it into my schedule, and your schedule is probably different than mine, but you can find the time and bringing it to a simple level. It doesn't have to be, fine dining and over elevated. It can be just taking some stuff, getting in the kitchen, cooking a simple meal and sitting down. I'm a multitasker. I love a lot on my plate, no pun intended, but I love staying busy. So that really feeds into me consistently going. But I also know the quality and the part of slowing down and savoring the moment and stepping back a little bit. But with food, it evolved as far as, listen, I do a crock pot night twice a night sometimes. Both my kids play competitive sports. My husband works full time. I work full time. So in the morning, I'll pull out something from the freezer, let it thaw so that when I get home, because I forgot the night before, but I try and make these little mental notes, these little tips and tricks that we try and teach to remember how to do those things so that we can get back to the table.
Yeah. Now, what do you find the difference between working in a restaurant environment and having your own restaurants versus having a catering company?
Quality of life, which
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
really important thing. Um, I never knew if I wanted to do the family kid thing. I was on the fence. I was very in that restaurant world. It's not an easy balance. And I commend a lot of people who, I applaud you if you can balance it. But when I stepped away from that, I realized that I did have a really big purpose to be part of my family because it was so important to me. And the way I grew up, I had working parents and my grandmother stepped in to help, just like my mom steps in to help now. And I have that relationship with my grandmother because of that dynamic. And I have my kids have that with my mother now. But I realized how important it was to be present, to be here, and that quality of life and control with the catering company where I have people who help me. I'm not afraid to ask for help. And, I work it into my schedule. And if it means that there's a soccer game at 3 o'clock, I go to the soccer game, I'm present, we eat dinner. Then when they go to bed, I go prep what I need to prep for the next day for my work, or I do my emails. And it's just, there's always a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's what really means something to you. And everyone
Yeah.
has different values. So
Yeah.
for me, this was something that's so important.
And you love it so much that it's not like
Yeah.
you're,
It's not taxing
it's
on
not
me.
taxing on you. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure it's taxing because it is
Yeah.
a lot of work,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's a passion, and it's like, when you like to do, you're always going to do the thing that you like to do. You're
Yeah.
always going to find a way to do it, right? Yeah, that's very cool. So first of all, you mentioned Angelica's. That is a restaurant that is near my house in Long Branch, New Jersey.
Yes.
So I definitely,
I've only heard of this restaurant and driven by it.
it's very difficult.
Very difficult
to get in.
Get in.
I can help you there.
Thank you. And I've had a gift certificate for there for like a year and a half or
Oh, that's
something.
funny.
And every time we try to go, we can't get in. But anyway, that wasn't my question. My question was,
That was just a way for two, so you could help us
I just
get
didn't
in.
want to forget
I know.
to mention that, so that you have
Got
that
it.
in the back of your mind. Yeah, no.
Noted.
So, do your kids obviously must appreciate the food and your cooking and all that? Do they have any interest in learning?
They're very exposed to it because this one woman show brings them into it as much as I can. Um, my older one really loves being in the kitchen with me. Um, my younger one doesn't get the concept yet as much. Like it's just, this is mom's job and he loves to pop in and out. But my older one really loves the idea of you can make something, you can put these things together and it tastes like that. Um, but yeah, we do a lot of, I get them in the kitchen a lot.
Yeah,
And I think
Yeah.
that also helped me get them to be such good eaters as a mom, because when they touch it and they see their creativity, it's tangible. And then they're excited about trying it and being part of it.
yeah. Oh, I
And
love
that's something
that.
I tell a lot of parents, a lot of moms that ask me about like cooking. I was like, I did another podcast. I was like, get your kids in the kitchen.
Get them
When they
involved.
see it, when they are comfortable around it, they're going to try it. They're going to eat better. They're going to be excited about food, which
Yeah.
sometimes, my kids were at an age where, can I have a snack? Can I have a snack? Can I have a snack? And I didn't want to throw a bag of chips their way. So by getting them to cut the tops off the strawberries and watch them, they would pop one in their mouth. I'm like, oh, it's sweet. Oh, it tastes good. And they're like, okay. And I can make a bowl of strawberries while they were doing other things. And that replaced kind of the bad choices. And that kind of helped me navigate them to be good eaters.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we haven't even really talked about that, like the
I know.
healthy eating part of it. But I feel like with fresh food and with all your recipes, that there is such a healthy
Yeah.
element to it, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's not overly sauced, it's not overly salty. It's just,
Sure.
right? And I think that's where I struggle, is like I eat very quote unquote clean or healthy, whatever. And then when I go to make something and I'm trying to make it, I don't know, taste good and still be healthy, I'm like a complete mess. It either tastes like crap, and I'm like, oh, but it's good for me. It has like 40 grams of protein in it, so I'm gonna just eat this. Or it's not, it's not healthy. So how, like, do you have certain recipes that you've sort of healthified along the way?
Yeah, because I've actually really never talked about this before, but I've lost a significant amount of weight in my my journey of life. Just like most people struggle with, weight and balance and eating clean and indulging. And don't get me wrong, I love a good indulging night. But I've lost like 132 pounds.
Oh my God.
So
What? Wait,
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't know that going in.
No.
That's a whole other podcast.
I
Lauren.
mean, you buried the
That's
lead.
a whole other thing.
But
That's
it goes-
amazing.
it goes
Yeah.
with the hand in hand of, I
Yeah.
never got handed a bag of chips and stuff. I just loved to eat.
Eat.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I love to eat. So it would be like exciting. And the Portuguese, we're very not carb friendly. So like if you go to a Portuguese restaurant, you're getting French fries, rice, and bread on the table. So
Yeah.
you like those things and you start. But also the education wasn't around the way it
Sure.
is
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Growing up, it was like, go outside and play. It wasn't like, hey, what you're putting in, it's going to affect what you're putting out. And every meal was a wholesome meal, but it wasn't focused on eating well, calories or anything like that. And I don't eat like that now. I maintain and I have a balance. And I think that's the biggest and most important word is balance, but healthy wise, good fats, good food, good ingredients.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like Lori was saying, like when you buy really good olive oil that's not full of a bunch of crap, you don't need a lot of it.
Yeah.
No.
You're using a lot of stuff to mask those flavors. You know, boiled broccoli is boiled broccoli. But if you
Yeah.
boil the broccoli and you saute a little bit of olive oil with fresh garlic sliced up, a little bit of sea salt, it
There's
takes
nothing
it a little
better.
bit of, to
Yeah.
that next level.
Sure.
Adding fresh acid, lemons, limes, oranges, simple produce that really bring bright notes and flavors. And my biggest thing that I learned over time is eat colorful.
Mhm.
Yes.
Fill
The
your
rainbow.
plate. We
The
eat with our
rainbow.
eyes. And mentally,
Yeah.
if we see this beautiful plate that's not full of color, we're like, greens and reds and oranges really brings that appetite, that excitement when you see the plate.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
also it also helps your digestion. Like it actually triggers your digestion. So when you see something, like when you were just describing before the lemon zest, I could like
Yeah.
almost taste it in my
Yeah.
mouth and I start to salivate and I'm like, oh, I'm not eating anything. So I'm not
But you're
digesting
ready.
anything.
No, but you're ready. You're
if
ready.
I were to,
Yeah.
my body's ready for it. So
Yeah.
I do think there's something to like that visual.
But let me ask you that. I mean, in your own kind of weight loss journey, did you have to change the recipes, that you were used to cooking, or they already were kind of?
My recipes were always very clean as far as,
Yeah.
ingredient wise. And obviously if you're going to fry something, it's going to be fried, but you can bake it. And now with all the tools, air fryers, different things that you can integrate into, cooking to take away some of that extra fat but whole flavors. I didn't want to lose any of that. For me, honestly, it was portion control,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
being able to zip it and stop before,
Right.
and I'll always pick a really savory meal before I pick dessert.
Mm.
So
Oh,
it was like,
really?
I
That's
didn't even
funny.
have the sweet tooth, but I do love anything salty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a question about that. Speaking about like healthy foods and stuff. What are your thoughts on? Because this is another thing I struggle with. A lot of things you're going to learn that when it involves the kitchen. But so we go back and forth between New York City and the beach, and I always find it difficult to go grocery shopping because things will go bad or I won't use them or whatever. What is your thought on frozen vegetables or fruits versus fresh? Is there a huge difference?
There is a huge difference on nutritional value, period. You're going to lose a little bit when you're doing frozen, but there is something to be said for modifying a recipe, modifying cooking to be accommodating. You know, I think that if you can get your hands on fresh and you shop local farmers markets, like if you're here in Jersey and Long Branch, there's one right over down on
Right.
the west side.
Yeah. The West End.
Yeah, the west
Mhm.
side. They always have a farmer's market. So like knowing that and planning, hey, I'm going to go down. We're going to be down the shore. I'm only going to buy this amount of greens, fruit. But at home, you're going to keep in the freezer 2 or 3 bags of something because the day you're traveling back home,
Yeah.
you're going to want to whip something up. Then you're not feeling bad that something went to waste. I'm just going to
Yeah.
take something out of the freezer.
Yeah.
But it's about the planning behind it. But frozen fruit, anything I buy fresh,
Mhm.
there is no waste in this house. So, everything's really expensive right now.
It
And
is.
there's nothing worse than buying a container of strawberries and then having
Oh, I know.
10 of them on
Go
the
bad.
cusp of going.
Mhm.
So I'll open them, clean them, sort them. I have a Ziploc baggie at all times in the freezer, cut the tops off, and I freeze them. Then they make smoothies. I take them out, slice them up on top of ice cream when the kids want to do sundaes. So making sure that nothing is wasted and repurposed really is important.
Yeah, that's a good
You
idea,
always
actually.
forget that you can put the fresh in the freezer.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You can
Yeah.
put the fresh things in the
Yeah,
freezer.
you
And
kind of forget that.
I do forget that because
Yeah.
I don't freeze a lot. My
No,
mother
you
is like
don't.
the queen of freezing things. Like
Yes.
it
I
drives
think
me.
it's that mine is too. I
Oh
think it's
my
that,
gosh.
Yeah.
but it's that no waste. Like
No
they've
waste.
experienced cooking at a different time where,
Yeah.
things were a little tighter. And so you didn't waste. So you got creative. You learned, and I really, what you just said was right on the money. You really can freeze so much. So like if I have a bag of spinach and it's starting to turn, I'll saute it, drain it,
That's
wring it
what she
out,
does.
Yeah.
wrap it in plastic, and I put it in a Ziploc in the freezer. Now I'll use that for soup. I can make a spinach and artichoke dip if I have to run somewhere for an event.
Right.
Right.
So it's all about that repurpose.
Right.
Yeah, and the thought, thinking about those things while you're doing
Yeah.
them, like, yeah, that my mom does that. Or she'll cook, she'll make soup, or she'll make some, and she'll take half of it and she freezes it. I mean, any given day, you go to her house, you open the freezer, you could make
Right.
probably a 5-course meal, But
For us, that helps, especially during the week with busy meals.
I was going to say with kids and
Yeah.
stuff, that must be,
Yeah.
huge. But my mom's one person and she does this. And she has an
I know.
extra freezer in the garage that she also has filled with,
I was
whatever
just
she's
happy 'cause
making.
I get a lot of her. I get a lot of the Christmas cookies and Easter cookies,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I
and you
put
freeze them.
I freeze them because I'm only one person. I can't eat all those cookies. And I remember I was looking for something, the other day, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I found the Christmas cookies that I forgot were here. And I
Little
got to eat.
treat.
I know,
Yeah.
it was such a treat.
It's like such
Yes,
a bonus.
It was such a bonus.
That's great. So, okay. So looking ahead, I know you have your catering company, you're raising your kids and all of that. You have the book. What's next? What's your next thing?
The world is my oyster.
I know.
I am a very optimistic person. So I want to continue. I want to get my name out there even more. I want to become this household name that you resonate with. My biggest thing with my platform and being on like social media is the way, social media is so good and so bad.
Yeah.
Like
Agreed.
but I want to use it for good. I want to be the person that you turn to for these little tips and tricks that help you, that when you're like, I'm going to throw this apple out. Wait, Lauren says if I cut it and I saute it down with a little bit of brown sugar, I can freeze it and then I can pull it out next time and make apple pie. They're not
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
want to be that person. And so it's just about the exposure. I use this thing. I go everywhere, talk to everyone, eat everything. And that's what I want to share and really resonate with you and my audience is I want to be your best friend that you want to resort to help you get through that and get to that perfect life, not perfect lifestyle, but that happy lifestyle that
Yeah.
you can balance
Sure.
everything.
You can balance and you
Yeah.
can manage it. Yeah.
And I think that's important. I think that's what we're
it
all
is.
searching for
Yep.
Totally.
is that balance of
Yeah.
life.
Lauren, do you do YouTube? I'm sure you do YouTube videos and stuff too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instagram is primarily my larger platform.
Okay.
And then TikTok, which
And TikTok.
Yeah.
I just feel a little too old for TikTok because I can't.
Well,
I don't even know how it
definitely-
works.
I don't even open it up. I don't
Their
open it up.
attention span is so short.
It's
short.
it's too
Yeah.
it's too much for me. Just out of curiosity, what is your go-to, if you could eat anything, what's your go-to meal? What's your go-to thing?
There's two. So I love actually nothing more than, cheese, bread,
Yeah, I
a glass
know.
of wine.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah.
it's not the healthiest, but there's something
So
so
good.
enjoyable about
Delicious.
Yes.
an apple and cheese and triple
Yeah.
cream, fresh bread, and I
Ugh.
just rip it.
Again, my mouth is
My
watering.
mouth is
Yeah,
watering again.
that's-
So you're killing me. Killing me.
But something I really love, and we do hear a lot in my house, breakfast for dinner.
I love
love
breakfast for
eggs.
dinner.
Me
I love eggs
I
too.
love eggs. And you can do eggs a million ways.
Yes.
And it's so funny because classically trained chef, if you can make the perfect omelet, there is some high notary about
I know.
cooking
I
eggs.
know.
And we always joke around here in my house because it's like, if mom's hungry, I will go whip up an omelet. I love eggs. But breakfast is one of our fun things, and we get creative. There's always like either pancakes or French toast. We've make little French toast muffins. We do it all. So I really love breakfast,
I love
even
that.
though
I
I know
love
that's not very
breakfast, too.
I love
chefy,
breakfast.
but sometimes it's the real joy
It's,
of the little things.
it's what you enjoy. Breakfast for dinner is one of my favorites.
That's my favorite thing too.
Also brings back memories of when I was a
Yes.
kid. My mom used to make waffles and ice cream. We used to have these fresh, like homemade, like everything was homemade,
Wow.
right? And she still has the waffle iron, that old school, like
Wow.
I think
Heavy
it was my
one that, like,
grandmother's, that
creates-
heavy
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
And like they'd be buttery, and then you'd put the ice cream on. The ice cream would melt a little bit, and you'd take it, like eat it like a
Yeah.
sandwich. Oh my God, it was so good. Anyway, I digress.
Oh my God.
All right, do you want to do a little rapid fire question?
Yeah. She's answered some of these
I know,
already.
you have.
This is the first time we're trying this.
Yeah, we haven't done
It's
this
our new
before.
idea that we want to do rapid fire questions.
You're our
for
guinea
guests. Well, we already know the answer to this because you said I know the answer was sweet or savory, and you went
Savory.
Oh, savory.
Yeah,
Okay.
always.
Your go-to midnight snack.
An omelet.
An omelet.
I can do it in my sleep.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. The cookbook you reach for most often.
Not yours.
There's two. There's a William Sonoma book, and it's their book, but it's an entertaining book. And I love it because it shows how to elevate simple things. So sometimes, like, I have a million ideas, but sometimes I just need to horn them in, and I'll forget about, we all do, I forget about some of the simple things, and I'll look at the book and I'll reference, oh, that's right, I could do that. I could take normal jam and use that with a cheese on a crostini and make bruschetta, like make a little small bite, which when you see those things, so that one. And the other one is a Italian cookbook, the Rayos family.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
They debunked a lot of restaurant cooking to simplify it. Same thing. It's easy at home. Little tricks with keeping your meatballs moist and how to put the bone in the soup to pull it out, which, I know those things from growing up, but in the Italian way.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. I always hated the bone in the soup because I don't eat meat. Anytime there was a bone in
so much
something,
flavor.
I know. My mom would always put a ham bone in like
God.
a pea soup or something.
Right.
Yes.
Anyway,
what's
most
the
people
one
like it.
ingredient you can't live without? I would think that there's a few, but
Three.
There's
Yeah,
three.
there's
If I
three.
pick one, it would be olive oil.
Okay.
Are the
love
other two lemon and salt?
Salt. Yep.
Okay.
Coarse salt. And I always said when I was on those competition shows, the way they really could have ruffled my feathers was by giving me like kosher box salt, because I'm so used to cooking with coarse salt that I know how it melts into the food. I know how much by my hands to
Mhm.
measure with salt.
Yeah.
What's your least favorite kitchen chore?
Unloading the dishwasher.
Oh my God, mine too. Mine too.
I'll
Oh
load
my
it.
God.
Don't
I
want to
don't
throw
load it,
away.
no problem.
Oh.
I leave it for this sounds so bougie. I leave it for my cleaning lady to do. I run the dishwasher. I come back, everything's put away.
Yeah.
No, see, I don't
hate
trust
unloading
anyone
the
to put away.
dishwasher.
I hate unloading it, but
I
I,
hate
also
it.
don't let anyone else do it because they don't know where anything goes.
Well,
So-
that's also a whole other podcast, Lauren.
Little OCD.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm a
little.
type A personality, so I get it.
Just a little bit. And also loading the dishwasher. I don't like anyone else to do that either. Like
Well, you don't like Tim to do it.
I don't like Tim to do it
That's her
because
boyfriend.
I look at it
Yeah.
and I'm like, what was going through your mind when
When you put the knife like this,
seriously, or the knife sticking
Sticking
up? I'm
Yeah.
like, anyway,
Oh.
okay, I digress.
Um,
A wine or cocktail with dinner?
Wine.
What's your ultimate comfort food?
Yeah. Cheese and bread.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bread and butter, cheese and bread, that kind of.
Yeah.
It was always at home. It was always on the counter growing up. And we used, they have them all over, but the butter bells. So
Oh,
butter was
yes.
always at room temp.
Yep.
Yes.
And
yes.
we always had salted butter at home. So I would
Yes.
rip the bread and
Yeah.
just scoop it out. Obscene amount of butter on my bread.
I love that.
So good though.
I know.
Do you have a dream dinner guest, past or present?
Well, if he didn't pass, Anthony Bourdain was my number one.
Ah,
It was
yeah.
always, he's one of the biggest reasons I did want to go into cooking.
Right.
Really?
I read Kitchen Confidential. I loved the way he talked about this. There's a thing about the cooler and the camaraderie and the aggressiveness that it takes to be in the kitchen. And I was like, there's such reality to that. But my father's mother passed when I was real little. I was only 2. So I really never got to meet her. I look exactly like her.
Oh, wow.
My senior picture of my high school picture, the one they take you with that awkward
With the
little
black
tape
thing.
on.
Yeah.
I look exactly like her wedding photo.
Wow.
So she was a phenomenal cook, my father always said. So I would always want to cook to see, because I've got to cook for my mom and my mother's mother.
Right.
But for her would be amazing thing.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, this was awesome.
We love talking with you. We want to. We're considering you our new best friend.
I love it. Cocktails next time.
Definitely.
Wait until she gets us into Angelicas.
I know.
If I get you in Angelicas, we'll all go together.
Yeah, that's a deal. That's a deal.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Why don't you say your social handles
Yes.
now, where people can find you, and we'll say the name of the book again.
Sure. So the book is Little Portugal. And you can find me on Instagram at Chef Lauren Covas, and on our website, we do Chef Covas catering, and we have Chef Lauren Covas for all your needs.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Lauren,
you.
for being
No,
here.
thank
really
you.
Enjoyed it. Oh my God, she was great.
Yeah.
How much fun to talk to her.
That was really fun.
And just hear about her whole perspective of cooking, how she got there. I just love it. I love chefs.
I know you love chefs.
I love chefs.
I know.
Next to Broadway and stars,
those are your two things. And we've had Broadway stars and chefs
and
on
I
this
both
podcast.
and I become like
You
fangirl.
fangirl over them.
I know.
I like to eat.
You do. Sometimes questionable that you do like to do that.
I do that. My feelings about celebrity chefs.
I do. I feel like you should
put that aside.
Because there's a lot of them out there that are
no, I know,
cooking amazing food.
I'm sure
that are cooking amazing.
I'm sure
food.
like
absolutely. In restaurant, like you can go to their restaurants,
right?
And eat. Like I was saying, just when we got off, I'm a big fan of Manish Chauhan. I love watching her combine all these kind of Indian flavors, and I was dying to go to her restaurant to eat her food. I wanted to eat her food,
and you did,
and I did, and it improved as good as I thought it was going to be. I mean, truly.
That's good when it meets your expectations or exceeds your expectations. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But so that was fun, and her cookbook is really pretty.
It is, and it's easy to follow,
yeah.
and it makes you want to go to Portugal. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, we hope you enjoyed this as much as we did, for sure. I'm Laurie Schulweiss.
And I'm Jen Giamo.
And this was Everybody Talks.
Talk to you next time. For more information about our podcast, to learn more about us, or to catch up on all of our episodes, go to our website at every.body.talks.com.
Follow us on Instagram at Shuli, at Jen Giamo, and at Everybody Talks. And if you want to watch today's episode, go to our YouTube channel at Everybody Talks Podcast.
If you want to be a part of the conversation, join the Everybody Talks community and become an exclusive member of our wellness group. Check out the link in our show notes to learn more.
Don't forget, if you like what you've heard, give us a 5-star rating, write a review, and tell a friend. We're for everybody and everybody. The Everybody Talks podcast is co-created, executive produced, and hosted by us, Laurie Schulweiss and Jen Giamo. Produced and edited by Station 16.
Our theme song music is written and performed by Jackie Ryle and Aaron Navisi, with additional support from our pups, Oliver, Milo, Murray, and Frankie.
Talk to you next time.